Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Naval Ops Commander, and today we don't have a regular episode of Naval Ops Commander. Today, what we have is going to be a series of tests about this game, because I've been curious about some of these things for quite a while. So we're going to be taking a look at a few things today. This could be a long video, could be a short video, I don't know. It'll probably be longer than short, but I'm not going for a time goal on this thing. It's not part of the main Let's Play and won't cut into the Let's Play. It won't stop the regular episodic videos that you guys expect, so don't worry about that. But just some things I would like to try. First of all, whether or not radar actually changes how far we can see, if it increases the range of the quote-unquote fog of war, as it were. I don't think it does, but that's what we're going to find out, and I've devised a test for this. Also, we're going to be looking at those torpedoes a little bit more, because I am really confused about why they just don't seem to work sometimes. So, to do all of this, to make it easier on ourselves, we're going to go back to the very first mission, like so. Don't need to hear the briefing, this isn't an official episode or anything. We're going to take the destroyer, which you just saw we put radar 1 on here. We're only going to bring one escort, and the reason we're going to do this, I've devised a plan. No, not that. I've devised a plan, basically. Pretty much, what I want to test is we can accomplish multiple things here. And of course, the one time I need it not to black screen, it black screens. So, here's what I want to try. We're going to pull out our special warhead torpedoes. We are going to put our escort on stop for now. Where is it? Just stop. Don't shoot. Don't do anything. Just leave you right there. So we're going to mess with these torpedoes a little bit first. So these are transports. So they're pretty slow moving. They won't be hard to like hit or anything. I think these are going to be destroyers down here. Let's see. Yep, destroyers. So those will probably be better tests for our torpedoes. So we know that they have a really long range, but what I want to be able to see is our own destroyer, and we're going to have to shut those off, because those are going to ruin our test. Off, yes. In fact, all auto, off. Yeah, off, on, no. Off. What? This thing is still really confusing. Let's just shut everything off, so that we can... Oh, that's another thing. If I go to manual... Right, okay, let's turn this back on. Right, if I go to manual... Yeah, see, we can only have one thing selected as manual at a time. So this is just a fancy way of deciding what weapon we have selected. I suppose if you're like in a really tight spot and you don't want to try and fumble the buttons mid-fight, you can pause and then do it. I guess that's one way to do it, but that's another thing we were wondering about. So you can only have one thing manual at a time, as you can see. So we want pretty much everything to be off, because we can still use it if it's off, I think. Yes, we can. So I want to be able to see our destroyer. I cannot zoom out anymore. I want to be able to see our destroyer. Yes, I don't care. Okay, I can see our destroyer. That didn't work. None of the things stayed off. Stop. Ah! Off, 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 off. Off. Save. Okay, we have to... What is that? Don't... This is not going well. So we have to have the one on that we want. So we'll go like this. Okay! Now, we'll probably have to chase down those transports so we can actually do our test. I just want to see what's up with these torpedoes, why they will not, like, track the way we want them to. Okay, let's go after these transports here. I think we had some more destroyers come in. Oh, cruisers, yeah. Let's see. There might be a lot of cutting in this episode here, so that I can... Why are they on stop? I just put them to manual. There we go. Okay. Why are these transports turning around? That's unusual. Okay. Now we are in range. Now, I want to be, like I said, I want to be able to see our ship, so let's... No, what about this one? There we are, okay. Now, watch the lead very carefully. See how they did not lead the target? and the guidance is really weird. They didn't lead the target when they left the tubes. Did you guys see that? I thought that's what was going on. Now they came back around, which is very interesting, but they didn't lead the target when they left the tube, which is part of why they're having some serious accuracy issues, especially against faster ships. And the guidance system is just totally foobar. I don't know what's up with that. So let's try that again, and unfortunately, I have to be very dangerously close here. So let's try this again. Lead the target. It did not do that. And the guidance is really weird. I figured that would happen. Yes, I was expecting that. But yeah, as we can see, they're not leading the target properly, which is one of the issues that we're having with those torpedoes. That and the guidance system is just weird. So I was paying more attention to the lead. I didn't get to see... I'll watch it in editing, of course, but I didn't get to see how exactly the tracking system works. Nova Topaz was saying that he thought the tracking system kicked in when it got closer to the target. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just plain weird. But now let's try that again. I think I'm satisfied with testing the torpedoes. I mean, I pretty much can see what's going on as far as they're not leading correctly. The next thing I want to try is that radar test. Does radar change the fog of war? The one video where I don't need there to be a bunch of black screens because it keeps interrupting my train of thought, that's when we get all the black screens. Because why not? So, finally, what is the one escort for and why did I only bring one? Well, we're going to bring him over to the shoreline, a piece of the shoreline that I can clearly see defined on the minimap, and we're going to leave him right up against the shoreline in stop mode, and then we're basically going to sail. He will then start blinking as a green dot on our minimap, radar down there, I think so, and that will basically allow us to see if, let's try this one more time here. Yeah, the guidance system is, look at that, they had no reason to miss there. I have no idea what is up with them. Anyways, that's that. Let's try this one more time. They came back around and they still missed. There's 5 torpedoes there, so all of them fired. Yeah, the guidance system is totally foobar on these torpedoes. Alright, well, that's that. I mean, we're pretty conclusive on that. Let's see. Let's go to this part of the shoreline over here, the tip of this peninsula. And we want to put him, like, right there, basically. And just leave him right there. Not where the shots land, or where my reticle is. And that's how we will determine whether or not radar actually increases the fog of war. So, okay, stop, and escorts, and stop. So now he will stay. Now what I'm going to do is sail pretty much, well, let's do this, let's be even better. Let's reverse right up against him, and then sail straight perpendicular to where he is. Or as perpendicular as I can, like, make this. Let's be very scientific here. Okay, we're pretty much perpendicular to the center of his ship, roughly. We'll keep our reticle on him, and as soon as the fog of war, as soon as he gets to where the edge of the fog of war is, then, and you can see he's blinking on my radar. As soon as we get up here, wait for it, a little bit further, right there, we'll say. So, look at the radar and see how far inside of the circle he is there, and keep that in mind, because the next test will be to put on like radar 3 or something really good and do it again. So we are about that far away. You guys see that? So that's about the test that I can really come up with here. Hey, what's going on with you guys? Why are you coming over here? Yes. Okay, so that's that. You see how far that is? He's on the very edge of the fog of war, so to speak, which is ironic because this mission is called the Fog of War. And he's about that far in on the radar. Now from here, I'm going to cut, and I'm going to bring you guys back and do like the exact same test in the exact same spot with the higher level radar. Yes, we don't care because we've heard this before, and this is an unofficial episode. It's not really an episode, it's just testing stuff in this game. And also, I won't be using anything we get here. I will not save this over the actual Let's Play save, because we're going to be spending money and getting money and doing all kinds of other stuff that is kind of unofficial, off the books. So, let's put on the next level radar. I know I said there was going to be a cut, but I want you guys to see that I'm putting on the better radar. I'm doing it. So we can see that it exists. We can see that I'm actually changing it. My prediction is that the fog of war will not change, but he will be closer to us on the radar, because the scale of the radar will change. That's my prediction. So I believe the highest level radar we can buy is only 3. So let's go check. Offensive radar 3. Let's buy one of these. Go ahead and put that on the ship. I think we could have just gone straight through the auxiliary menu, like so, but I don't think, I don't know if it would have given us the option to look farther down and see if we actually could have gotten radar 4. So now we have radar 3, and we're going to go do the same test. So here will probably be an actual cut. Since we're here, and since we're going to pass them anyways, we can do another test with these torpedoes and try to see what in the world is up with them. So let's make sure we do this correctly this time. Oh, hey, it saved my settings. Good. Good, good, good. So off doesn't mean we can't use them. It just means we have to select them, like so. And if we go to armaments, yeah, now the torpedoes are on auto, which we don't want. So we'll go back here. If we look at this again, they're still off, which is pretty much exactly what we want. No, 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 stay in vertical. Okay. Watch the lead. Not even close. Guidance system, not even close. I don't know anymore. Let's see. Oh, another test we can try is to... Oh, well, one of them came back around and hit, evidently. After the fact, but yeah, that's just weird. The biggest issue I see with those is that they do not start off with the same... They don't start off, like, leaving the tube with the correct lead, which is a huge problem. Could you come, like, a little more this way here, bud? No? Yep. Stop. Stop it. Ah, man. Okay. I'm just gonna take another pass to get this lined up here. What are you doing? Well, he's not behaving like he was last time, so... But the land is kind of just for the mini-map, so that's less important. He's the actual reference point. So, come on. Not even close to the hitbox. Oh, these escorts. Really annoying sometimes. Okay, so we're going to do like the same thing. We're going to get over here, get perpendicular to him, go straight out. Come on, there we go. Now, we are almost... I would say that's pretty perpendicular for the most part. So again, we will sail straight out that way, like so, and we will see where the fog of war creeps in, and if anything is really all that different. Let's go down to 2, let's go down to 1, there he is, and of course they're going to interrupt us. So there he is. That's about the same, like, close to the edge there. What? Oh my god. I'm beginning to hate these torpedoes. Well, we learned something else about them. They don't really seem to expire, do they?
We have reports that the...
And you know what, just to be safe, because the couple seconds of a glance that I got there before the freaking torpedoes came back around, for whatever reason, let's double check to make sure that we actually have radar 3 on here, because the couple seconds that I got to look at that, it didn't actually look like there was much difference at all, which is kind of weird. Yep, radar 3, it's saved. It's saved on there. Okay, we'll try this again. I'm not going to use the torpedoes this time because I don't want some nonsense like that to happen anymore. And I'll see you guys when I get it all set up. Okay, well, he's not exactly angled very well, but we can still... Basically, we just want to make sure we're going like 90 degrees from him. Or some multiple of 90 degrees, such as 180 degrees. So we'll go straight off of his stern. Oh yeah, I forgot, the massive hitbox. Oh my goodness. So difficult. Oh, we're almost there. Yeah, it's good enough. I mean, yeah. Okay, so this test again. The torpedoes this time are just off. I just have them off so that we don't have any issues. See, yeah, I don't want any more issues. We're done with the torpedoes. We know how they work now for the most part. We know how they work. We don't know why, but we know how. Okay, here we go. Fog of war creeping in. Wait until he's on the very edge and stop. And let's actually go back just a little bit. Like this. Yes, okay. So, it appears to me that he is slightly closer to the ring on our radar. Slightly. And we're about this far. That doesn't look like it changed the fog of war. Hardly at all. If at all, period. My theory was always that the fog of war radius depends on what type of ship you're in. The bigger the ship you're in, the farther you can see. Not bigger in size, but I mean bigger in class. You know, so a battleship can see farther than a destroyer and so on. That's how I always thought it worked, and it appears to be the case. As far as the radar, it doesn't really look like anything changed, which is really weird. I don't know why that is. We know that we switched radar. I don't know. In editing, I will try to put a screenshot of this radar test with radar 3 and the last one side by... Well, I don't know if I can do side by side. I'll try to put them up one after another so we can really compare. So, look at the radar and see how far inside of the circle he is there, and keep that in mind, because the next test will be to put on like radar 3 or something really good and do it again. So, we are about that far away. You guys see that? So, it appears to me that he is slightly closer to the ring on our radar. Slightly. And we're about this far. That doesn't look like it changed the fog of war. Hardly at all. If at all, period. My theory was always that the fog of war radius depends on what type of ship you're in. The bigger the ship you're in, the farther you can see. Not bigger in size, but I mean bigger in class. You know, so a battleship can see farther than a destroyer and so on. That's how I always thought it worked, and it appears to be the case. As far as the radar, it doesn't really look like anything changed, which is really weird. I don't know why that is. We know that we switched radar. I don't know. In editing, I will try to put a screenshot of this radar test with radar 3 and the last one side by... Well, I don't know if I can do side by side. I'll try to put them up one after another so we can really compare. But they look about the same to me, and the fog of war distance also looks about the same. Yeah, stop interrupting. So that's that. Now, as for the range of our special warhead torpedoes. This is something else I would like to attempt to test, but I need to shut off everything else first. Off, 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 off. Save. Okay. Now, Nova Topaz theorized that the Aegis system might help with the range and the tracking, so that will be the next thing we try. But let's get a baseline range test first. Like so. So, there we go. Now if I do this real quick. Where do we go? Where do we go? Where the heck are we? Oh boy. Okay. Let's try this again. I should have just hit right trigger. So once the reticle turns red, pretty much. Whether it's gray or not. There. So about that far. Okay. So, and we know how they track already, so I won't bother testing that. These are just PT boats, so nothing really to be worried about here. No, let's have a quick end to our mission here. Let's just, yeah, no. They're, as you can see, they don't track with the target at all. Hey, run into me. Hey, run into me. Ha! Aw, that doesn't work. Okay, another test we just did on accident there. You cannot hit yourself with your own torpedoes. Okay, they don't have unlimited range. Now, how did those other ones manage to come back? And I don't know. Alright, let's go ahead and leave. We'll move the Aegis system over to the destroyer temporarily. And we'll see if that helps with the actual tracking of the torpedoes at all. Okay, going into design the destroyer now, and I just pulled the Aegis system off the cruiser. We're going to stick it on the destroyer and see if it helps with the tracking. I don't think it will, because that's not really what it's meant for. It says VLS missile, which can lock onto multiple targets. So it might not even work for the torpedoes, but that'll be another thing we can test. Now, while we are here, we have ETS-1, which is electronic tracking system, but while we're here, let's go ahead and look at what kind of systems we have that we might also like to test. We already have a baseline for like knowing how they track and everything right now. ETS, lock-on sphere for auto-attack weapons. We've had ETS-1 on there. We can try to put ETS-2 on and see if it makes it better, though we won't do that all in the same test because that will corrupt the... We won't know which system is helping or hurting or doing anything at all. Weapons command system controllability. We have one. We'll try it again in a separate test just so that we know nothing is cross-interfering. I don't... Maybe these EBSs will help, but no, there's no way that... No, the very first enemies in the game will not have radar blocking. That's no. So, it's not like they're jamming the torpedoes so they don't track. Because we've seen this now against the very first enemies in the game, and, you know, to our point in the Let's Play, the most recent enemies in the game, we've had the same issue in both cases. So, I don't think they're jamming the torpedoes or anything. And nothing else in here looks like it would actually help us. Movement, we still don't have anything. So, we'll be testing, and this time, we'll be testing the Aegis system to see if, first of all, if the torpedoes can lock onto multiple targets, and second of all, if the if it helps with their tracking at all. And the last test I want to do after this is to swap out to ETS number 2 and take off the Aegis system. And then we'll be able to see if that helps the tracking at all as well. Which, again, I doubt that it will, because it's meant for auto-fire weapons. So I don't think it will help, but we can try. So the raw test of the Aegis system. Does it work with the missiles? It should, but does it? That's what we want to find out. Everything else is off. Now we want you off. Whoops. Off. Yes, like this. There we go. And we can still select them, but they won't go off on their own. So, it doesn't appear to have helped. Well, let's see. We can. It might have helped the range, though I'm not sure. No, it did not help the range. Doesn't look like it helped the range at all. And this is locking on to multiple targets at once, as we can see. Like so. Up to 4 targets. So we can lock on to 4 targets at once with VLS missiles. 5? Can we actually lock on to 5 at once? Oh, we can lock on to multiple at once, but it only goes for 2. That's weird. Yep, now we got some of these guys coming in. Okay, now, the torpedoes. They do not benefit from the Aegis multiple lock-on system. Now, why are those going off? Stop it. But do they track better? That's something to test now. And let's see if they lead the target any better. No. No, does not seem to have helped at all. It's weird. They only start actually tracking after they pass the target. And then they start... I don't know what is up with these torpedoes. So Aegis system does not transfer its multiple lock ability to torpedoes, or at least to those torpedoes. Let's check it with the regular torpedoes as well, for consistency's sake. So let's turn here. Well, these don't lock on, so never mind. What was I talking about? These don't lock. So, what is going on now? Hey, stop turning yourself to automatic mode. Now, if I switch off of these, does that... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anymore. Okay, conclusions about that test. Aegis System confirmed works for VLS missiles, though it only launches 2 missiles at a time, even though it seems to select more than 2 targets, which is weird. I mean, look, it's entirely possible the game is just a little bit buggy in some areas. We can't just say that, you know, we can't just assume that it was supposed to work exactly the way that it's working and that it's absolutely perfect. It's entirely possible the game is just a little bit buggy, which is fine, because for the most part the game runs smooth. It runs smooth, frame rate and everything, performance-wise. It, you know, most concepts in this game work exactly as they're supposed to, but it's not we can't discount the fact that it could just be a little bit of a bug. Much like the Torpedoes. So, conclusions so far from this test. Aegis confirmed works with missiles, but seems to target more than it can actually shoot at. Aegis does not work for multiple lock-ons with the Torpedoes, or at least with special warhead torpedoes, and does not increase their range or help their tracking at all. So we're going to go ahead and retreat, and the last test I have in mind off the top of my head is to try the next level of ETS and see if that helps out at all. Again, I don't think it will, but we have to try. After this video, if you guys have any more tests you'd like me to try and do, feel free to let me know. Though remember, I would keep in mind, guys, that I will not be able to record one of these test videos again until Thursday night, which means that it won't be up until Friday. And that's just because Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights are absolutely nuts with my college schedule. So don't expect extra videos like this one on Wednesdays or on Thursdays, because Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights I don't have the time to record extra videos. Much as I would like to, I just don't have the time. Well then, someone's revving their motorcycle outside. For some reason. My doors are locked and everything, yes. Okay, windows are all closed. Yeah, I don't like living in the city very much. I thought it'd be kind of cool, but now that I'm here, I'm like, ugh. I'm just kind of a little edgy about everything. So let's take off the Aegis system so we know that's not interfering with this test, because all we want to test this time is ETS. Everything else is going to be exactly the same as the last bunch of tests, or exactly the same as our baseline test that we did at the very, very beginning. That's the control of our little experiment here. So let's try this. Again, I don't think this will help, but what's the harm in trying? Okay, here we go. Last test with the Torpedoes, and last test that I have in mind for the video today, or for this video, because obviously we still have the regular videos out today as well. So we're going to shut everything off. Everything's off except we got a manual. Okay. Testing the tracking of these torpedoes with ETS-2 versus ETS-1. I don't think it will make a difference, but I have a little bit of extra time tonight, so I decided I would go ahead and make a test video to test some things. Gongaga, by the way, confirmed in his own test that you can, in fact, hit Archaeopteryx with the blast from these torpedoes. Though don't count on it, because it's kind of inconsistent. So here we go. This might kill me if they hit, but the point is to test the tracking right now. So, do they lead the target? No. Do they track any better? No, not really. And again, did you guys see that? Those disappeared. And these are transports, so they don't have interception methods at all. So let's launch these. We had a delayed launch there. There we go. So that time they hit because I was like straight off the starboard, or not starboard, stern, straight off the stern of that ship, and they didn't really have a whole lot of deviation to do. But even still, we could see they didn't track in a straight line towards the target, despite him being literally perpendicular to me. They still wiggled a little bit, and for a second I thought they were going to miss. So ETS-2 does not seem to have helped with the tracking. We have some more ammo, so we'll try it again. Where are we? I want to be able to see us. Okay, here we go. And fire. Nope. The tracking, and it seems like, okay, I think I figured out why they disappear sometimes. If the target that they're going... What the... Did you see that? This is why I'm so confused by these torpedoes. But anyways, the disappearing thing, it seems to me... it would stand to reason, Irana, that the torpedoes disappear when their selected target is sunk by something else. That, I think, is what goes on with those. As far as why they won't track properly, I'm gonna chalk it up to a bug. Because we've tried every relevant system that should, in theory, possibly maybe help that.
We were successful in
Or at least every system that we have available to us right now. So, yeah. I'm gonna chalk it up to the torpedoes are bugged for some reason. And, yeah. That's, I'm beginning to hate these torpedoes more and more because they just don't quite do what I want them to do. I see the damage potential, but I also see the potential that they won't hit the thing I'm trying to hit, such as a boss, let alone something fast like Whirlwind or Stormwind. You're not going to hit. Or they're going to miss the target, come back around 3 minutes later, and then kill you because you forgot about the fact that you launched them and now you're up next to him broadsiding him or using regular torpedoes, and all of a sudden, hey, those torpedoes you launched 3 minutes ago? Yeah, they're still going. They are still going. So these torpedoes, the special warhead torpedoes, are just really, really weird and inconsistent and seemingly bugged. So that's all the tests that I had pretty much thought of prior to making this video. If you guys have any other tests that you think we can do at this point in the game with what we have, keep in mind we are on that, well, no, we're not on that mission. No. Well, there's our tech. So in case anyone's curious, that's the tech we have at the time of making this video. And the briefing, or not the briefing, the mission that we're actually on is right here. This is the mission that we're on right now. So at this point in the game, if there's anything else to test or anything else to try regarding the torpedoes or anything else for that matter, let me know in the comments. And Thursday night, I will see if I can record another one of these test videos, and that will go up on Friday. So, I think that about does it for this episode of Naval Ops Commander. It's not really an episode, is it? It's kind of an unofficial test video. So that does it for this video of Naval Ops Commander, this testing video. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. Let me know if there's anything else you would like me to test that is practical for us to try at this point in the game. And yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.